Hi guys, can you see? No, you can't see. I'm starting a little bit early. I'm in front of a tele. Ah, voilà, TV Asahi, it's there. That's the building. You have, that's Roppongi Hills, TV Asahi. We finished early, so I'm starting earlier. I'm going to show you the Keiyakizaka Dori, Keiyakizaka Street. Hi Mark, because it's really beautiful. Thank you, No A. Hi Olivia. Hi Britta. This is nice, yes, Olivia. You know, I'm doing this at a late hour today, so I'm glad you could make it. Hi Ramses. I'm starting earlier. I think that Jason is probably sleeping, but voila. So I think we are going. I've been hesitating. Of course, we can talk. I wanted to find a subject today to talk about. It's not too cold. Attends, let's do this. But you know, following the 21 years in Japan theme, and you asked me about work in Japan, I haven't explored that subject too much with you yet. So I was thinking I could do this today, but we can look for, voila, check out. Okay, let me show you the illuminations first, because this is nice. I thought we could go through Roppongi Hills, but maybe this Keiyakizaka Street is nicer at this time of the day because this is so beautiful, right? So yes, and I was thinking, you know, we could try and find a coffee, a cafe or a bar, of course, somewhere I could sit and we could chat a little bit. So would you like to go this way or do you want to go through Roppongi Hills? You choose, guys. You decide. Do we go this way or do we go through Roppongi Hills growing in front of TV Asahi? Which way do you pick? It's nice, huh? Illuminations. Okay, hey Brian. Have you recovered from the jet lag or are you in full jet lag right now? Okay, yes, we go under the trees. Britta, either is easy for me. You know, I can always find some places where to drink or eat or both. This is so nice. And actually, yeah, it's better I always go through Roppongi Hills. So today it's good that we are going this way. And it's not too cold. I had a question about the weather. It's not too cold. It's okay. Did you sleep in the Brian? Brian was with us in Japan until you left yesterday, right? Right, yeah. He was in Japan for something like 2 weeks, I think. So usually, you know, the jet lag can be bad, but it's good if you're not suffering too much from it. Look at this. This is so beautiful. Hi, Tiggy. So see, it changes. It's like this for, I don't know for how long, maybe a minute or two, and then the lights come up again. Ah, oui, a chocolat chaud, Antoinette. That's a super good idea. See, the lights are blue right now. Alors, maybe, hold on a second. Let's go up here. Because I think there might actually be a cafe or there are lots of posh. Ah, voilà, guys, we have actually a bar, a cafe bar right here. And I could sit on the terrace and nobody would be, I wouldn't, disturb anyone, right? Alors yes, those lights are all year long. You can enjoy those lights. So guys, if I sit at this terrace, I can enjoy this. What do you think? Bon, can you hear me, or is the car's noise annoying? This is pretty neat, huh? I don't know if I can have just a drink, but I bet I can have just a drink. I think that's nice, because the thing is, if I take you today, it's not a food or drinks hunt, right? We can check out the menu. If we want to talk a little, it's easier, I must say, for me to talk when I'm seated, right? Let's check out the menu. Maybe I can have just a drink. Main, starter. I'm just going to ask them if I can have just a drink on the terrace, okay? すいません。テラスで一杯だけって可能ですか？大丈夫ですか？はい。あ、本当？あ、じゃあテラスに座ります。わあ、すごい。ちょっと撮っていい？みんなかっこいいから。いい？ありがとう。This is nice, huh? それでもし食べるんだったら、ほら入っていいでしょ、途中で。大丈夫？ OK。じゃあお願いします。こんばんは。OK. He said OK. And I said, I wanted to take the other guy too. He was super handsome. Really my type. I said, can I shoot you because you're handsome here? And he said, yeah, OK. Where? Which seat? I think this one. Sorry, it's not. I haven't been live streaming for 10 minutes yet, but I'm becoming crazy already. Seriously, isn't it nice? Haven't I found? I have to create a, theme with Jennifer and her terraces, right? Because I'm finding the best terrace in town, right? すごいね、ここやっぱりさ、階段登らないとわからないんですよね。もったいない。それでね、ここってもしかしたらいい、もうなんかカフェがあるかもと思って思ったら、わ、素敵じゃんと思って。ありがとうございます。よかったです。あ、はい、ありがとうございます。I said, if you don't go up the stairs, you can't see that there is this super nice bar restaurant, huh? So yeah, I think, alors Antoinette, in other areas, not in Ginza where we were there last week, there are some places where they still have the Christmas lights, but here those you can enjoy all year long. Alors, I think I'm going to have, I feel, oh my god, guys, I did a good job and I'm super thirsty. I think I deserve, and I haven't been drinking since last Friday, since it's my birthday. I'm going to have a glass of, okay, I don't really like, Moët Chandon, I don't like that much. I'm going to have cava. Okay, this. Alors, where did I learn the language? I learned, is the angle good enough for you guys? Oui, daijoubu. Can you enjoy it? It's nice, huh? I studied at the university before coming here. But then, obviously, it was so hard at the beginning. I could read, but it was difficult to talk. Kava nishimasu toriezu ippai. Onegai shimasu. And then, I learned being here, right? Yes, Brian, it's cool, actually, so I come here. So this question about the language is super relevant, I think, because obviously it's easier to get a job, and also you will get a better job if you speak the language. If you don't speak the language, I think, okay, you can be something like assistant, like teaching your language. But obviously, if you want to teach in a university, I don't think you can do that if you don't speak Japanese, because you would need to go to meetings, etc., and then you have to speak the language, right? So it would be jobs like a waiter, teaching in private schools the language. This is nice how the color, the lighting is changing. But me, I came with a program, it's called the JET program, and it enables foreigners to come here. If you pass all the exams, you come here and the job is found already. So I came here as a coordinator for international relations, and I was sent to the to Wakayama, which is at the south of Osaka. And I worked at the prefectural government of Wakayama in Wakayama City. For 3 years I could do that, and then you have, you know, if you want to stay, you have to find another job. It's a 1-year contract that you can renew. Voilà, nice service. Thank you so much. ありがとうございます。I like good looking guys, of course. You know, who doesn't like good looking people, right? Here is my drink. Santé. Santé. This is nice. It's a little bit dry, but I don't like, you know, sparkling when the sparkling is too sweet. This is why I don't drink much spumante, because usually spumante is, there are lots of spumantes, I think, which are sweet. I mean, the cheap ones. But cava usually is drier and has more freshness. So I know this is not the subject, but you know, this is my work too, right? To drink and enjoy things. This, alors I don't know. I will ask when they come if there is a table charge. It's not written. Si. Okay. The drink, the cava is Seiyen, 1,000 yen. That's about $9. There is a cover charge, 500 yen per person at dinner time. I don't know if this works on the terrace too, because do they consider this as being a table? I think so, but it's okay. I think seeing the environment, I can enjoy, and this is kashikiri, like it's all mine, right? The restaurant. Even if I take just one drink, 1500 yen plus tax, it's a little bit pricey, but I've seen worse. So it's not bad, I think. Voila, we found another great terrace. So coming back to what I did first, so that with the JET program you can come 1 year and renew twice. So you can do 3 years maximum. Of course, if both parties consent, you know, to renew the contract. And I was coming here for just 1 year, but within 3 days I knew that I would renew my contract. I knew that I wouldn't go back to France, even if I had never thought I would spend more than a year in Japan. It was like such a pain for me to come here, but I had to improve my language, and so especially my speaking abilities. So when I came here, I could read a lot. Sometimes there were words, of course, that I did not understand. I would understand, you know, the general meaning. When it came to talking, oh my God, for 6 months it was so hard, even if I had the basis of Japanese, right? Yeah, this is Ramses, this is amazing. Huh? I like that. So I wanted to stay, so after that I found a job at Mitsubishi. I was doing the link in between France and the office where I was working. I've told this story, I think, when I did the anniversary, 21 year in Japan anniversary live. I will put the link in the description. And I was still in Kansai, so that's the area around, the whole area around Osaka is Kansai, right? And so I worked in a 100% Japanese environment for 5 years. I mean, working for a prefectural government, even in our own countries, right? You know how administration can be. Administration is administration in every country, right? And then for Mitsubishi Denki, which is what Japanese call Ote, you know, like one of the big companies. Then I came to Tokyo because I had the opportunity to come. Work had changed in Mitsubishi, so I knew it was time for me to change jobs and to find maybe possibly a foreign company that would hire me. Because I must say, hi Sofon, I must say that working for 5 years in a Japanese only environment, at the prefectural government I had a Mexican and an American colleague, but still I was working. If you can't hear me well enough, tell me, okay? Voilà. It was just, you know, so Japanese, and so like the way of working was so Japanese, and I got tired after 5 years, and I thought I had done a pretty long and unique experience of the Japanese way of working, of the system, of like my experience. I've been more Japanese than Japanese people themselves. They tell me that, and I think it's true. At some point I had become so Japanese, I think it was I was even a pain to my sister when she came to visit. Why did I? So this is good I'm telling you this, because I can explain you some of the reasons that made me try and become more Japanese. Welcome, Joyce, for your first live stream with me. I felt that I had to become not only Japanese, but even more Japanese than Japanese people, because the thing is that even if they accept us, but I think that's probably the same in every country, but my experience is that of course they accept you, but we remain foreigners, even if now sometimes, even at the time, but you know, when you make a mistake, it's because you're a foreigner, right? It's because you're not Japanese, and I hated that. And so I tried to become even more Japanese than Japanese people, so that they could not see me as a foreigner and see flaws that maybe Japanese people don't have. I mean, about the culture, I didn't want them to think that I wouldn't do things properly because I wasn't Japanese. Now I've found a balance, so I'm playing with both cultures, because I've assimilated a lot of the Japanese culture, and especially the good, I think. The good things that enable you to work smoothly in the Japanese, with Japanese people, simply. But at first it was hard. Yes, it's hard. It's a new environment. I think even in our own countries, own people, when you change environment, you always need to adapt yourself, and it's always hard. But also there is one thing, is it's just that also, guys, I don't know if I've told you that, but I had never worked in my life. I came here, the last thing I was doing in France was being a student. And then I arrived here and I worked for the first time in my life. And it was like first time living on my own in an apartment, first time paying a rent, first time having to deal with like, you know, how to pay the bills. And when there is a problem, you have to call the gas company or whatever company, right? So it was a really big jump for me. Not talking about the fact that I was, you know, 10,000 kilometers away from home. So I will go back. I should have started with that when I started working in Japan. And I think that even if now I would come to Japan and work here for the first time, this is my experience, but I think this is the experience that any foreigner has at the beginning. I need a gulp. Sofan asks, was I scared? I wasn't scared. I was just hoping that that whole year would pass super quickly. I wasn't scared because I came thanks to a program, right? So I was, there were people showing me things at the beginning, right? But Ramses, you say that if you speak English, everybody assumes that you're American in the States. Here, if you have a white face, everybody assumes that you can speak English, which was super annoying and is super annoying to non-English. Yahoo! こんにちは。うちもいるからね。多分匂いでカンカンカン。バンショー。ごめんごめん、びっくりしたびっくりした、ごめんよごめんよ。うちはね、陽気とチワワがいるからね。ごめん、シャイ、カメラシャイね、ごめんね、びっくりしただけ、ごめんね。何歳ですか？4歳です。4歳、4 years。あなたはね、ちょっと微妙ね、ボーイ。女の子、やっぱりね、ちょっと優しさも出て、ここ目はね、ちょっとボーイっぽいだけど、口は女の子っぽい。かわいい。かわいい。かわいい。She doesn't like the camera。ね、ごめんね、びっくりしてる。はい、こんにちは。はい、こんにちは。はいよ。はいよ。はいよ。はいよ。どうした？ I think she's smelling Lisa and Charlie, right? お散歩楽しんでね。お散歩楽しんでね。じゃあね、バイバイ。バイバイ。バイバイ。バイバイ。she wants to have a drink with us. 一緒に飲みたいね、多分。You know, animals first. ここいいですよね、知らなかったけど、このテラス最高ですね。変わったからお店が。そうですか。オッケー。じゃあね。またね。バイバイ。バイバイ。バイバイ。こちらこそありがとうございます。Sorry about that, guys. You know that I can never resist a cute doggy. Bye bye. That's such a nice place where to have a walk, right? So sorry about that, guys. Animals first. Alors attends, sorry, what was I talking about? I forgot. ダメだ。Alors Thomas, we'll see after that question. Did I want to go back to France at some point? Please remind me of that question. I'm going to keep on talking about what was really annoying at the beginning, and I think it's not just Jennifer. Ask me again the questions. I need to finish, you know, each topic. Try and finish. It's the preciseness to say that, you know, how they are into detail. And what I did today is that, so you know that now I still work for Japanese TV. Not as much as I used to do, because now I have my other activities are going not too bad, right? So you know, I'm busy, but when my schedule allows it, I do work for Japanese TV, and I've taken bits that I will edit and show you. It won't be, I would have wanted to show you more, but I can't, it's forbidden, you can't shoot in there. So you know, you will see just small bits, but you will see like even a program I can show you actually now. It's like, oh my God, everything is written in with so many details, like to the second, to the minute. And also, you know, I was young, so obviously, you know, I wouldn't understand what does it matter. 5 minutes, what does it matter, right? But you know, you get this kind of document, everything is, you know. But to me, what was really shocking, there are two things who shocked me at the prefectural government, is that, you know, when we had a group of people coming from France, we wrote a schedule, and like you ask a French person, okay, I'm going to France, can you organize a tour, for example? Okay, so it will be okay in the morning at around 9 we leave the hotel. After that we go and visit a museum. We will eat sushi at lunch in that city. You're lucky if they tell you in which city you will be. And then in the afternoon we'll go to that park and then do that, and in the evening we'll eat takoyaki, right? And they give you approximate hours. In Japan, it's 8:40. We meet in the lobby. We want to leave at 9. 8:40, we meet in the lobby. 8:50, we go out from the lobby. We get into the car. 9, the car leaves, right? And you're like, first, why do you have, I mean, if you want to leave at 9, why do we have to be 20 minutes in advance in the lobby, you know? I mean, that's like the car is just 30 seconds away, right? So those kind of details were really driving me mad, and I just couldn't get it. Also, you know, when I would do a translation, one day a guy, the person, he was my tanto. Tantosha is, how do you call that, the person in charge of you? This is good. The guy couldn't understand a word of French, and I do this translation, and he comes to me and he says, okay, Jennifer, like for example, you wrote the hour. It was just a point and a comma on numbers, and it's not the same in English and in French and Orange. I think in English and Japanese it's the same, and in French it's different for us. And the guy is like, why did you put a point, attends, did you say a point? This is nice. And not a comma. And I would be like, because that's how we write that number in France, right? And like here, for example, it would be the hour, we would put H for, okay, you know, 13h30, right? Hour, so H only, right? We don't put 2 points like that in French. And the guy would ask me, why did you write it this way? And I would like, hold on a second. Hi, Kiki! Oh, such a pretty. You would like, hello, are you French? I mean, you know, I am. You don't understand the word of French, and you are asking me why I'm writing it this way. You don't understand anything about the language, right? Why are you, you know? Like, I made a mistake, and oh my God, those details that would just drive me nuts. Now the thing is that, and also, you know, okay, you check. Did you check? Oh yes, I check. Why? But yeah, you know, I check once and then it's okay. But it's like triple. It's not even double check, it's triple check. And then you have so many people checking out after you. You know what you wrote. And the thing is that at the time I couldn't understand. Also, I think I was maybe too young. But it's not only that, because even now my French friends, I know that they don't check as much as I do. I've become so Japanese in that sense, because a French person, I think, will check once, maybe twice. But when I ask them, and the problem is that they keep on making mistakes. We make mistakes, we are human. And when I have to give back a document to my customers, and sometimes I don't have, the information, so even if I read the thing, I don't know that there is a mistake, then the customers tell me, Jennifer, in a document, another document we have, it's not that. And then I'm like, okay, they are telling me that it's, oh yeah, oops, sorry, oops. No, not oops. Okay, a French person would never do that, right? I have to do something about those, how Japanese people use their hands, right? But we don't check like that in France. I don't think that in Western countries we check that much. But when you live in Japan, better check 10 times than just one time. That's how Japanese people work. And when you've lived a long time here, this is how you start to work too, because you just get worried that a mistake is in there and you don't want to send something with a mistake in it, because it makes you look bad. And I think it's the same everywhere, but they are really perfectionists, Japanese. So this is why, to prevent sending out documents that have mistakes, they will check and recheck and have other people check. So when I ask the people I work with in France, okay, we need information about this wine, this is a new vintage, okay, the person writes, and then I'm like, did you check it? Yes. And we get mistakes, and when that happens every year, and then I'm like, okay, please, I need you to have someone else check what you wrote, because we always send back the information with mistakes. They're like, yeah, they don't want to do this. I think that in Western countries, we don't like our work to be checked out. I don't know if it's because we are so confident about ourselves and what we do, but overconfidence sometimes is not good. You have to have confidence, but overconfidence is not good. And when it comes to that, it's just, it's small things, but that makes really the difference, right? So voila, that's what would really annoy me at the beginning. Now that's a question I can't answer, Thomas. Now I don't mind that anymore, but because I've learned that it's good to check and recheck, right? Also, then to work in Japan, as I said, I think it's better to speak the language, because in the end, even the people I'm working with now, and not only speaking, to be able to write the language, I think, makes the difference. And this is why it was a little at the time, of course, because when I started working on my own, things were hard at the beginning. But you have to be, assiduity also is very important in Japan. Bike. You you have to prove yourself and to be here and never give up. Like, you know, it takes time to implement things, and so you have to be assiduous. Then they start trusting you. They think, okay, this person, she's, you know, gaman zuyoi. I think that you have patience is the key in Japan. And I learned, what do you think, Kiki? We have the Kiki with us. Maybe she can give us her feedback too. But I think that patience is the key. And I really learned, I became patient living in Japan. That's one of the things that my living in Japan has taught me. Because without patience, you cannot survive in this country, you know, because it just takes time. Everything takes time. So you have to gain the trust of the people you work with, but it's also so easy to lose the trust of the people you work with. So hard. I mean, so easy. And then, you know, that's the thing, is that I think that, you know, and even now it's really funny, and I don't tell them that, but I've really noticed that, you know, when I do things right, it's because I've become so Japanese, but when I don't do things right, it's because I'm French, you know. And when you make a mistake at work, then it's, in the end, it's because you're a foreigner, I think, and you don't work, you know, like you don't work like them, and you can never become like them. And this is why, coming back to that story I was telling you, that at some point I was even more Japanese than Japanese people. Now I think I found a balance, because also being French is they say sales points. Sales point, it's a sales point. It's a strong point. It's good that I've become Japanese for those things, you know, when it comes to, you know, paperwork, etc. You have to be Japanese. And anyways, even if I'd go back to France, I would work the Japanese way, because I think it's a good way to work, to really check out and be, you know, careful about details, because that's what makes all the differences. But then also, I mean, if I weren't a little bit French, what would be the point, you know, of using me? I mean, people, they make me work, because also I give them the French touch, and you have to be an added value, right, when you're a foreigner in Japan. And of course, I mean, even Japanese people who are in France, it's vice versa. It's, you know, a give and take situation, right? I mean, and also, you know, when when I do things, of course, sometimes Japanese people maybe could do those things, but they're not Japanese. I mean, a Japanese person who will introduce French food, and when Jennifer introduces French food, or like a Japanese person, no matter how, you know, no matter the knowledge they have about Bordeaux wines, I give something else, because I am from Bordeaux, right? So we have to be an added value. And when you come to Japan, you have to find out what you can give them, what can be a plus to them, right? Voila. So, alors, I can't read the comments as I am, you know, talking. You're turning Japanese, so fun. So, thank you, Evan. Yes, please, guys. Like the video. Thank you. We have more people coming in. Hi, guys. Hi, everyone. Alors, yes. Alors, so fun. They have very high standards. Yes. That's general to the culture. It's not only at work, but obviously that comes into work too. You can feel that this is why they are, you know, very demanding. And I think in a way it also suits me, this culture of being demanding, because I've always been very demanding to myself. I'm demanding to, you know, I'm demanding in general, but first of all, I'm very demanding, you know, when it comes to me, so, you know. And what it amazes me and what I've learned from Japanese people is that never be contented by your level. Think that you can always improve yourself at no matter at anything you do, and also you can improve yourself, you can get better. And I feel really small, you know, it always reminds me of Karate Kid, and you know, all those movies, you know, when there is the master and we are just small insects. But really, even the master, when you see someone who's been doing that for 50 years, 60 years, like sushi masters, tea ceremony masters, shamisen, whatever, they tell you that they still have so much to learn. And I think that this is what makes the difference between usually a Western master and a French and a Japanese master, is that at least us French, when we start mastering something, we get so proud and satisfied with ourselves. A Japanese person will never be satisfied with her or his level. You can always get better, and so this is why they always push themselves, and they are very also, again, the assiduity, you say that, I think, is very important. Like, you know how regular they are about the things they do. I've learned that to be, you know, not on YouTube, I know, talking about, you know, being constant and consistent. No, constant, regular. Japanese people can be so regular, and I mean, I get bored so easily, you know. Attends, it's a little bit cold, so my hands are dried. Yeah, people in Western worlds tend to be more impatient. Yes, that's true. Yeah, they are talking about that, you know, being impatient, and they want things to work fast. So the theme today is working in Japan, right? At the beginning, what was are you leaving, Chris? Bye, see you again. What was, you know, we talk, it's changing now, because, you know, in 10 years things have changed. Things change so fast in Japan. So the situation was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, the situation was different. But you know, the how do you call that, the zangyo, the extra hours that people do. Really, the image was that you know, in Japan you have to work to do extra hours, and they had to do extra hours when I came to Japan 21 years ago, and even before that, even 10 years ago, they still had to do extra hours. But it started to change, and now it's different, even if it's still in the culture. Overtime. Thank you, David. Yes, overtime. Extra hours, overtime. Hi, Teclet 95. Thank you. Thanks for waking up. Sorry about that. It was, oh my God, I could not believe this, because, you know, as French people, we say that there is a life after work, and we enjoy leisures and our time with our family after work in the evening. So the only thing we want, okay, this is a little bit of a caricature, caricature, do you understand? Oyasumi. We arrive at work, the only thing we are thinking about already is to leave work, to go back home and have fun, right? Eat and drink and go and do sports, or you know, our leisures. Half a joke, okay guys? Japanese people, especially at the time, they had to do overtime. Example, so when I was working at the prefectural government, but even at Mitsubishi, you could not leave before the boss. So that would mean that even if you didn't have any work to do, you couldn't leave before your kacho, the director of the section, let's say. So, is it 6? I can hear some bells, no? No. So, that would be crazy, because I would see people being in the office doing nothing all day long, and then after 5 or 6, when everybody would be leaving, they would be starting to work. So I was thinking that was crazy, because as a French person, what I would want to do is go back to my family, right? But here you have to, you know, the more hours you spend at the office, the better you are seen by your boss and, you know, your colleagues. So that was a little bit difficult for me to understand. But then when I would see every 3 months, I think it was, he would get the bonus for his extra hours. Oh my god, guys, that was funny, because, you know, so the office was, there were, let's say, three people, the boss, so that was the guy, you know, he was doing extra, no, the small boss, and then you would have bigger bosses. So anyways, the mini boss of my, you know, that was the top of the 6 people who we were, you know. Each time he would get the bonus, he would take us out to have dinner, because he would get so much money for the overtime he was doing. That was something crazy, I hear. So, you know, that was the good side of, you know, doing overtime, right? But, you know, that's the salaryman life. Also, you know, what was really, it was the image, and it was still going on at the time. I had to do those going and eat with the colleagues, not that much because I was foreigner, but we would have this, you know, to go and have and eat with the colleagues. That wasn't every week, which was a good thing. But oh my god, guys, the worst thing, I've been thinking about that, and this is why I wanted to do this live stream. Every month they would take money out of our salary, like without asking, right? And they would, once a year, we would have to go and do a trip with the colleagues. Yes, like take a holiday that they would deduce from your, alors, as we were foreigners, we had 20 days of holidays per year, which makes 4 weeks, right? 20, so 5 days of weekdays plus weekends, that would make 4 weeks. They would use those days, and we would have to go on holidays with our colleagues. And I thought that was crazy. I mean, who wants to put money every week? I mean, I didn't want to put money every month to go on holidays with my colleagues. I wanted to use that money. I mean, I went the first 2 years. The third year I said, no, I'm sorry, I'm not going. And don't withdraw that, don't take that money out of my salary without, I don't want you to take the money out of my salary, because, you know, I don't even need your crappy omiyage, your crappy souvenirs, you know. I want to keep my money and go on holidays by my own, you know what I mean? This is not a holiday, going on holidays with your colleagues, right? That's how it was working at the prefectural government at the time. I'm not sure it's good. No, I think it's okay to talk about those things, right? What else? Okay, I'm trying, you know, to remember what I was living at the time. But then, you know, it's alors, yes, I remember now one of the questions I had when I was in Mitsubishi. So I had been living in Japan and working in Japan for 3-4 years already. And in Mitsubishi, I was working for the purchase department of the mobile phone company. Mitsubishi Denki, they also make mobile phones, as they make also, you know, elevators, etc., etc. And hold on a second. So I would make the link. I was the bridge in between that company in close to Osaka, in between Osaka and Kobe, and the factory they had in France. In between the two factories, the two purchasing offices. And we would go there very regularly because they had lots of problems of communication, obviously. Alors, talking about that, communicating in Japan, and why have I been able to build this business I have now? It took long years, but I think that my experience at the prefectural government in Mitsubishi has been really important, and is really the base of what I do now, because it taught me, you know, what you can do and cannot do with Japanese people, and how you have, you know, to act, and especially the big no-nos, right? And I learned when I was in Mitsubishi, working for Mitsubishi, that Ramses, seriously, you have so much work to do, my friend. When you have sorry guys, but this is, I'm just I think I have to stop watching the comments, right? Yes, communicating is not only a question of language. I had these Japanese people and these French people. They were speaking perfect French. Thanks, Ramses. They are speaking perfect French, English, but the thing is that to be able to communicate, you have to understand the culture. And I think that even me, before I could, you know, work more smoothly with Japanese people, I had to, you know, assimilate a minimum of the culture. And you know, sometimes even now I say, and I know the difference. I know usually when I work with Japanese people, I'm very Japanese. I am French when, you know, I think it's I don't think it's just Japanese, but you know, when you give this to people, the more you give them, the more they ask of you. So when, you know, it's out of my field, or out of what I am supposed to do, you know, I become French, you know, to be able to say stop. Because when you're Japanese, it's hard, it's difficult. A Japanese person never says no, right? They always say 難しいですね. So, yeah, are you going to sleep? Techlet 95. See you. 難しいですね. can we meet tonight? If a girl tells you, 難しいですね. It's difficult. If a person tells you it's difficult, it means it's no, right? So all those small things, right? The longer you're here and the longer they become part of you, right? And sometimes in French I say, ça me paraît difficile. If I tell you ça me paraît difficile, or might be a little bit difficult, it means I'm telling you no, usually, right? So this is the thing I really learned when I was working for Mitsubishi, that communicating, it's not only a question of language, it's also, you know, a question of culture, because especially I think with the Japanese culture, because they don't express things the same way as us. And I think that to really understand Japanese culture, you have to know the language. Because even jokes, it's like, I mean, Mr. Bean, England, the culture is different there too. And to laugh at Mr. Bean's jokes, it took me time. Now I am a super big fan of Mr. Bean, yes, often lost in translation. And even now, sometimes I say that like kidding. I'm like, oh my god, I am so lost in translation. But if you don't speak the language, the language will be another barrier. You will lose so much of there are so many things of the culture that you will not understand, and that will be a pity, I think. This is why also it's super difficult to translate Japanese jokes into French or into English, because even if you have to find a way, and it can't be direct translations, because the idea is not the same. So you have to find something that will appeal to your people and make them laugh, which is not always easy, you know. But that's the main thing I think I learned when I was working for Mitsubishi. Then, oh my god, it's yes, an hour. I mean, those trolls have been that killed me. Like, it was a little bit, yeah. I don't know if it's because of the time or. Alors, yes, Tom. Did I ever want to move back to France? No, merci. That's a good one. Attends, Benjamin, you're very right. French people aren't that funny, huh? We don't have jokes. Alors, Thomas asks, did I ever want to go back to France during my first year? Never. When I arrived here, my Mexican colleagues, and also as it was a program, we would have, you know, that big gathering. I think it was once a year. And all the senpai, you know, the senpai tachine, the elders, the people who had been doing the program, it was their second year or third year, they would tell you, at some point there will be a culture shock. You will want to go back to your country. And honestly, guys, I've never experienced a culture shock in Japan, because I think that before I came here, they told me so many things that made me think that, because we had some kind of briefing in Paris at the Japanese embassy, because, you know, that was a program, right? And I thought, oh my god, am I really going into that alien country? This is like, oh my god, are these people even human? You know, like, they are so different. So I think that I expected such, like, yeah, that would be an alien country. It is. Japan is like, even now, but to me, it makes me love to say that, you know, Japan is such an alien country, but I am also an alien in Japan. But I expected things to be so different that, you know, it was okay. I remember that what shocked me most, reverse, that's Genki Kame, that next topic, yes, because I experienced reverse culture shock. But I remember, so we arrived here, and the first 3 days were what they called the orientation. So because with the JET program, I think, I don't know how it is now, but at the time there were about 5,000 and something foreigners, out of which there were only about 20 French people. And the newcomers, when they arrive, so it's a few hundred, I think, they do this big gathering and orientation in Tokyo. And so the senpai, the elders would take us out in town and blah, blah, blah. And oh my God, I remember thinking 3 things. How come this country is so noisy? Because, you know, like the bus, they have microphones, they can tell the car in front, okay, please get out of the way, or blah, 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 blah. And like all of a sudden, you're walking in the street, and all of a sudden, right by your side, there is a blah, 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 you know, and you're like, what the hell is going on? You don't even understand the language, right? Because it was so hard for me, you know, to when I couldn't get it, you know, what they were saying, and I was thinking, oh my God, is there some war going on, you know? That was surprising. Second thing that surprised me is how they put those white, the white material that they put in the taxis. I thought this in France, we put this kind of lace thing, some commercials on a big, can you see that? There was some music. In France, when we put this kind of white lace, we put in the, we say a landau, cradle. Is it cradle? Cradle? You know, you put the babies in a cradle? Cribble? Please, the word. We use this kind of lace, white lace, in the cradles. You understood what I mean. And the third thing, cradle. Okay, cradle. Merci, guys. Hey, YH Toronto, long time no see. Hugo, haven't seen you on this channel. Welcome. Cradle, thank you. Cradle? Oui, cradle. Bon. Third, see, I'm French. Right away, I am like super proud of myself of pronouncing it maybe right? A Japanese person would never act like this. Like, is that okay? Was my pronunciation okay? And even if we would be like, yeah, you're so jozu, you're so good. A Japanese woman would never be like, see, I am so good. Cradle, right? You know, never. Third thing, I remember when we went to first big area we went to was Shinjuku, and oh my God, Louis Vuitton. And I was like, what the hell? How many Louis Vuittons are there in this country, right? And all those French, like, you know, luxury brands. And also, you know, when we took the train, I thought, oh my God, so many, even like, you know, girls, 16-year-old girls, they have Louis Vuitton. This is expensive, right? And I remember that this surprised me. And then when we went to Akihabara, oh my God, so noisy, right? Because, you know, the people trying to attract you with the Nantoka phone, you know, to blah, 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 please come, blah, 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 blah. This cone-shaped thing to, you know, make your megaphone, voila. And I would be like, oh my god, even now I'm like, oh my god, this is impossible. And you know, I had the image of Japanese people being so quiet, and I thought, oh my god, this country is just so loud, so noisy, right? But then I was sent to Wakayama, which is kind of inaka, countryside, and that was super quiet. Alors, David, yes. In the train on the country, you have to be so quiet, right? Even now, this hasn't changed. And I would be like, and I've become so Japanese now. Sometimes when I see foreigners being so loud, I'm like, you shouldn't be so loud in the train. You are pestering all the people around because, you know, oh my god, I remember a few things at the prefectural government, I have to tell you. We had to do parts 2 and 3 of the working in Japan, right? Because there are so many things. You don't live for yourself when you're Japanese. You live for the society. Even if it's maybe starting to change a little bit, they are starting to learn to live for themselves a little bit, but still, it's in the genes, right? You have to be careful of what you're doing because you don't want to be a nuisance for the people around you. And that's at any level and at any age. So at school, in the workplace, in the street, in the train, in your family, in your couple, everywhere. So there, you know, it's this is when I had the reverse culture shock. Genki Kame, we are going to, you know, talk about this, maybe to end today's live stream. But another thing, you know, yes, courtesy is the key. But that's right, that's true everywhere, right? But what would surprise me, you know, also the language. I will make a theme about that, about, you know, some Japanese expressions that were super surprising and super like annoying and that are annoying to many foreigners who come to Japan. One of which is on the workplace is likeはいもしもしはいジェニファージェニファーさんですかはいそうなんですけど、or yes I am Jennifer なんですが I am Jennifer but and you're like but what if you don't even know who you are, you know. They are never, you know, like assertive, I think you say, right? Don't be super assertive. That's the right word, right, in Japanese, when you're in Japan, because people, they don't like that. You know, if one day I go back and live in France, I can be a teacher about how to start a business in Japan, because I have all those tips, you know, but what you can do and you can't do. We will have also to do, I will do some table manner someday. That will be I'm Jenny from Bordeaux, so fun. But I live in Japan. There are so many, you know, things I've been wanting to do. I've been super lazy, but celebrating the 1 year of YouTube has boosted my how to say, I want to do something more with this channel, I think. But also I think this is a good time. I'm super genki, super energetic these days. When I get down again and you don't hear me for 2 or 3 weeks, please forgive me. I will put edited videos. I have to become smarter, you know, now on YouTube, and to make people wait for me, I will have to put some edited videos. But sometimes, you know how it is, I'm so busy. But Genki Kame asked that question about how about reverse culture shock. Hi Elina, Elani-san. Welcome. Oh my god, yes, I didn't have a culture shock for 21 years. But the first year I had to go back to France after 6 months. And then, you know, my average, sometimes I would go back only once a year, but it's better for me if I go 2 years, at least twice. Because obviously, you know, my family is important. I need, you know, to charge my batteries. And for that, I need my family, you know. But also, that's another subject, but, you know, Bordeaux is my land, you know. No matter how much I love Japan, I will talk about this. This will be another theme, but, you know, I need to go and charge my batteries. And... oh my god, the first 2-3 years when I would go back to Japan, that's when I would freak out. I think is it you, Sofon, who asked me if I was scared before coming here? No, because Japan had, and it still has, this reputation of being a pretty safe country. Even if, guys, it is changing. That's another subject. I will make a video about that someday, because I have lots of things to tell you about that. Personal experience. And I watch the news, I watch Japanese TV. I don't watch YouTube, but I watch Japanese TV. This is why I can give you this content too. But I would go back home, and honestly, guys, I would arrive at Charles de Gaulle airport, and I would start to feel stressed, and I would, you know, this culture shock would be starting because of the ambient, stressful. There is a kind of aggressivity, I think. People don't even realize that they are aggressive, but the way they talk and the way they move. And also I think that in Asia, when I'm traveling in Asia, I can spot wherever I am. Usually, I can tell out of Asian people which one, without seeing their faces. I can tell who's Japanese and who's not Japanese, because a Japanese person doesn't move like any other people from countries. Like, they don't move like French people do, like Chinese people do, like Americans do, like New Zealand people do, you know. They have a really specific way of moving, I think, which is would you say like 邪魔しないようにね、その non-obtrusive, and they wouldn't get into your way, and they try not, again, you know, the 迷惑かけない. Like, you don't want to bother, to annoy, to be a nuisance to the people around you, so you move also in a way that you will not bother the people around you. I think that Western people will walk more like this, right? Here you try and make yourself not invisible, but almost sometimes, I think. And you don't want, you know, you have to blend in the society also. In our countries, you don't want to blend. You want to be different, you know. So some Japanese people are like that, and that's very often that makes artists of those people who don't want to blend, right? But apart from that, usually what Japanese people want to do is blend. They don't like, you know, to be out, something out, you know. Yes, but you know, so when you go to Harajuku, if you think of it, in a way it is blending, because they follow a trend, and they are part of a group. And usually people, they like to be part of a group, right? So, are they coming? No, this is not the police. I think it's an ambulance. So I would have the culture shock going back to France because of how people, and sometimes, you know, they like arguing in the streets. You don't argue in the street. You don't raise your voice. You don't shout. They, oh, okay, Japanese people are human too, you know. I mean, this is weird to say that, but sometimes I have to say that because they give an image of being so, you know, like, yes, please go to bed. It's okay. Have a good night. They are so different, but also so they can be so much like us, which is the paradox. But when you're in society, you have, yes, to blend in and also not to be a nuisance, because the density of people in such small areas, of course you have to live like that, because if not, we wouldn't be able to live in harmony. So, you know, that's also, I think that's where we are born, that's what makes us. It has to, the environment, because, you know, it's so different. And when you live, you have so many people in such small areas, of course you have to do your best to live in harmony. So when I would go back to France, that would shock me to see how people would be like almost violent sometimes, and sometimes they are, because I mean, you know, when you go to do your Christmas shopping at the end of the year, and you go to a supermarket, and hello, isn't Christmas supposed to be a peaceful and joyful time? And you go to the supermarket and you see people shouting at each other because it's crowded and for whatever reason. That is not right, I think, right? So sometimes, at least French people, I think, are a little bit extreme, you know, in their, you know, how they express their feelings. And here maybe they are a little bit too extreme in, you know, gaman suru, being okay, I can't reply, I can't do this or that because, okay, I have to mo gaman suru. Does anyone understand that expression? Like, you know, to take in and not blow out what I'm feeling, you know, and which, when it's too much, it's even more, I think, David, than reserved. It's like, because in a way, when you don't express what you feel because you don't want to be a nuisance, I mean, it's not good for your mental health. Sometimes it has to come out, right? So, I mean, I am super lucky because I am in between the two cultures, and I think I'm just in between. I was super, like, I was even violent, I think, when I was, I mean, did you see me? Yeah, I was, even verbally, yeah, internalized, yeah. But now I've learned that it's not good to say, you know, like, even, I mean, I don't think that the expression, like, you know, you piss me off, in Japanese, this expression doesn't exist. There are expressions that don't exist in Japan because they don't understand the concept, because they've never thought that way, right? This is also something that someday, you know, I will make a video about, you know, expressions that we have in French or Western countries and we don't have in Japanese, because that's super interesting too. And this is why, you know, when you understand that, you will understand why Japanese people are so, kind of understand, because I don't pretend, you know, knowing it all, and, you know, it's just, I'm just showing you the top of the iceberg, but from my experience, these are, like, you know, a few relevant things and differences that, you know, might enable you, you know, to understand a little bit what I've been living and been through, and what makes our cultures so different. And when you come here, you will understand, okay, maybe I shouldn't do this or do that if I don't want to shock the people here. Even if they are pretty, they are so open, Japanese, they are too kind sometimes. That's another subject, but they will open you with, they will welcome you with their arms open, and they will excuse you for being sometimes what they think is being rude because the cultures are different. And they think, okay, the person is a foreigner, so he doesn't understand. But in France, but even in other countries, being so harsh, the way of talking sometimes, and I would write to Charles de Gaulle, and like people would be arguing, and I would be like, why so much negative energy, And I think, hi Anne, you're a little bit late. You get smoother, I think, when you live in Japan, and you have to. If not, you should go back to your country, I think. I'm almost through my... This will be nice to end the live, I think. You get, milder, I think, when you live in Japan. And mild is really a word also that is very representative, I think, of the Japanese culture. The way of talking, the people, the culture, anything, it's milder. Even the food is milder, I think. This is why you get, mellow. Yes, okay, thank you, Ramses. Then maybe that's the word. Mellow. You get mellower, more mellow. Which one is it? When you live in Japan, and you have to. If not, you will be in for a fight, because I've seen people like that. I've seen people saying, I'm not learning the Japanese because I want them, they are working with French people and they want them to do it the French way. Oh my God, like, poor guy, he oh my God, it was so hard for him, and they just, Japanese people are super mellow and mild and quiet, but that's something also I've learned. On dit les apparences sont trompeuses. The appearances are... How do you... Please someone translate. It's not how it looks like it is. I think they are doing some... Is there some party tonight here? Oh my God. You know what, guys? In the end, even if we arrive with our big muscles and big mouth, in the end and in the business, I'm sorry guys, but it's Japanese people who win. Because of what? Because of the fact that they are super patient. And we want things to move fast. And this is our, I think, weak point. Not deceptive. Keeping up appearances is important. Yes, it is. But I think it's important in every country. Now, what they say, and it's really true, is that the first impression you will make on Japanese people is super important. It is even true now. Now also keeping up appearances is important. Yes, it is important, as I just said. But the paradox is that, and you've probably heard about that. See, I can talk forever about anything. We'll definitely do parts 2 and 3. It's that you've heard about the stories about Japanese people going to drink after the after work hours, hanging out with your colleagues, and that's one of the things that they taught me before I came to Japan. They said you can get super drunk and do super silly things. Nobody will resent you for doing that because it will be after hours gathering. And this is why sometimes you don't see so many of, but yes, no, yes. I still wake up guys in the train when they're sleeping at the terminus, and I'm like, more. You know, this is the terminus, and it's like 11 midnight. People, they don't get their trains back home, right? It's okay to get super drunk, to do silly things, and the social code says that the following day nobody should talk about this. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. I love that. Sorry. Okay, I'm being crazy, but it's the same with after hours gatherings. What happens at the izakaya stays at the izakaya. Guys, you don't talk about this the following day. You don't tell your colleague he's been throwing up you or whatever, or dancing on the table or whatever. No, you don't do that. And this is how I think Japanese people, they manage, they vent out. It's not venting out, it's like they release the pressure thanks to those gatherings, because following day we have at least to pretend, even if some people, they don't even remember because they get so drunk, but if you do remember, just please pretend this is the code. You have to pretend you don't remember. And that's how people, they manage to survive in this pretty, it has codes, so many codes, but we also have ways, to get rid of the pressure. Voilà. Miyahiro-san, konbanwa. Voila, to release stress is very important. Voila. So you know what, guys? I've been doing this for half an hour. I'm finishing my drink. What time is it? Is it 7? こんばんは。これからね、ちょっと一旦切って、shall we go? What do you say? I stop the video and we start a new live stream in something like 15 minutes. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's 7 now. I think, we should stop. I've been live streaming for an hour and a half. That was much talk in a nice place, but I think we should go on some drinks and food hunt. What do you say, guys? No, 大丈夫。I think I have to charge my phone. So I'd say I could start again in something like in 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, 20 minutes. And I do a new live stream. It will be a new title like Dining in Roppongi. What do you say, guys? And we can do Working in Japan part 2, 3, 4, 5, and so many other themes now that I'm trying to be more regular about live streaming and everything. But it would be good that I charge again. Alors, Hiro-san, can I call you Hiro-san? Hiro-san, you speak English 大丈夫ですね。一旦切ります。20分ぐらい充電します。で、もう一回ちょっとフードハントに行きますか？なんで？居酒屋。No, 大丈夫。No, I'm not driving. The train conductor will drive for me. We go? Yes, on a food hunt. Okay, good. So our new friend Hiro-san, are you a boy or a girl? We can teach him some English and mix some Japanese to teach our friends English. I hope you enjoyed this live stream about working in Japan. It's the first of a long series. I'm super happy we found this terrace. I'm going to, you know what, guys? I'm making you a promise. Each time I'm going to have shootings at TV Asahi. How about we do some chatting at this terrace? Right? Oui? Bon. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for the questions. Sorry I couldn't answer it all. It's hard, you know, to focus. We also had some trolls. Sorry about that. It's kind of I couldn't concentrate anymore at some point, but let me charge the phone for about 30 minutes maximum, and then I'm taking you, I will move towards the lively area of Roppongi, okay? Ram says, please go to sleep. And thank you so much. Arigatou gozaimasu. Merci beaucoup. I will see you in a few. If you have to sleep, please guys sleep. And if not, let's go on a food hunt. Okay? Yes, Anne, I know. I'm not sure I can do the Dajobu, Ram says. Yes. Tom, good night. Padasya, yes, if you have to sleep, thanks for being here today. Toronto Sound, thank you, it was nice seeing you too. Thank you very much, see you soon. And those who can be still up in about 30 minutes, let's say, let's go on a food hunt, okay? Thank you so much. Prepare more questions about working in Japan for another time, okay guys? Thank you. And also you can put questions after the live. I will answer those in the following days, okay? Merci. Thank you, Hiro-san. Bye bye. Bisous. Bye, guys.